Hey everyone, so today's video is going to be pertaining to this new Magic Pass hero. I figure this is a good time to do a character or hero video on Thor. So Thor can be achieved in the Magic Pass if you buy it for $10. This is usually a very good deal in the game. I think it still is a good deal. The problem is with the introduction of the mastery books and stuff that we've been talking about the past couple days, I don't think this is as good of a value as it used to be. Needless to say, it is still a really good value. But Thor is the hero that you can get if you achieve level 30 in this Magic Pass. And I just want to talk to him a little bit to maybe explain things through, because I've noticed his kit and the way that he's described is a little confusing. So hopefully this video sheds some light on that, and if you end up getting him, maybe this guide will help you on how to build him. So let's talk about Thor here. So he has this trait called Werewolf, where he converts 80% of his health lost into what is called Delusive health from enemy attacks. And then it says converts 60% of damage dealt into true health if affected by Delusive health. And then he grants himself one block at the start of the battle, which is 15% damage reduction. So all this is saying is whenever he gets hit, he takes 80% of the damage that he's taken and puts it into this little trait. Then whatever he lost, whenever he deals damage, he heals back up 60% of the damage from just this Delusive health. I don't know if that was still confusing, but I am going to show it to you in-game, so hopefully it will make a little more sense there. And then his Ascension gives him additional stacks of block, which helps, and then instead of just 60% of damage dealt, it actually converts 100%. So his Ascension's a pretty big buff, just because he'll be able to heal up all of this Delusive health back, where on his base trait, he just is able to heal up to 60% if he deals enough damage. And then on top of that, 45% additional damage reduction from those blocks instead of just the 15%, again, is a real help to his survivability. The other thing that I think you guys are probably noticing here is whenever he's healing up on his trait and having blocks, this character is more of a bruiser type of damage dealer. So he's going to be built tanky. So mine is only level 60. I do not use Thor a lot. He is Ascended 1, so he does have some additional attack stats from his Ascend 1, and I don't have any kind of mastery books in him. So these are all kind of base level stats except for that Ascended 1. So on his basic, it says grants a focus boost before launching 2 attacks for 120% total damage. So each one's going to do 60% damage against an enemy. With each attack, it has a 100% chance of applying bleeding. So he is a bleed champion. This basic is pretty nice because it does interact with the rest of his kit. So he has a passive that says counterattacks with Pounce, and his passive is called Pounce, against any attacker affected by bleeding who strikes a team member. So if anybody on the opposing team has bleeding as a debuff, he's going to counterattack on them, and it deals 100% damage to them, plus true damage equal to 15% of his max health. So whatever his health is, he's going to be counterattacking for 100% damage with an additional damage of 15% of his max health. So pretty nice passive. And then his ultimate ability, which is kind of his bread and butter, and one of the reasons to use Thor, is it says it deals 200% damage to the target while ignoring all positive effects, plus a bonus Lunar Instinct combo against all enemies, dealing 100% damage and inflicting an unblockable bleeding to the target for 2 rounds. So this is kind of mashed up, but what this ultimate does, and it's important that you understand this, his ultimate ability does 200% damage to one person and ignores all positive effects. Then, after that is calculated, he then does this Lunar Instinct attack, where it's an AoE ability, and it puts bleeding on everyone for 2 turns. So, the reason I say that's important is I'm going to showcase, or to the best of my ability, showcase what this means. This ultimate ability is pretty good in the meta because Light Nick and Dark Nick, which are 2 light and dark heroes, and I'll come back to Thor here in a second. But Light Nick and Dark Nick are 2 legendary heroes right here and here that are pretty prevalent in the meta. And they each have this ability, which is death immunity, and it can't be removed. Thor can get around this. He ignores this. So if Nicholas is at like 1% health and he has death immunity up, Thor can come in and finish the kill, which is really nice. And then Dark Nick has the same thing, where if he gets down to 0 health, he then puts up death immunity, and then you have to hit him 4 times, and then the 5th time would kill him. So again, Thor would ignore that. But the thing is, and this is why this is important, is with Thor on that ultimate ability is you need to do enough damage on this 200% to trigger the death immunities from Light Nick and Dark Nick if it's not up yet. Because if you do damage here and it takes him down to, their death immunity, and then this is the thing that triggers their death immunity, they don't die. This is the second attack, and this first attack has to kill Light Nick and Dark Nick. So I don't know if I'm going to have an opportunity to show you that. Hopefully I can. But that's where his use in the meta is. The other hero that he's pretty relevant against is Giranol. So Giranol is really played in Arena. She's usually not an Arena defense champion, but she has been used in some instances. And if she's Ascended 5, she gets death immunity at the beginning of the match. So Thor is also a way to get around Giranol. All right, so the way that I have him built right now for this showcase is like most bruisers, bruising attack units in Dragon Scale and in Warrior. So these are his stats. He's got 5,000 attack, which bleeding scales off of. He's got about 17,000 health, 212 crit damage, and then his speed is really, really low. This is because the way I have him speed tuned in my team that I'll showcase for you here is he's supposed to do just the finishing blow, and hopefully Light Nick or Dark Nick have their death immunities up so he can come in and utilize his ultimate. Now, ideally, you would really want this health to be like somewhere in the 26,000 range, just to make sure that he can live. And you're going to see, I think, in some of these matches that he does die, but I'm going to bring in a revival spell and stuff like that. But let's kind of try and showcase the best I can. So I refreshed to two people that I am going to showcase this on. So the first one here is Tauri. So he has Light Nick and Dark Nick. He sadly has Jabez, which is going to kill my Thor, I think, if he targets him again. So this is the team I have right now. It's a very slow team, but the way that I have this speed tuned is Jonathan is going to go first to put up the attack down and defense down after they go. Nero is going to nuke and get Light Nick and Dark Nick down to their death immunities. Hakron is going to do his HP increase, and then if Thor survived, he would do his ultimate, kill one of these people, most likely Light Nick, and then give everyone bleeding, and then he would be counterattacking for higher damage because his health is higher because of Hakron. So let's see if this works out. and we'll show you. So their entire team should be going first, or at least a couple of people will be going first. So we'll slow this down. Okay, so Lightnick's going to go. He's going to do pretty big damage. Yeah, so Jabez is targeting Thor. So what we'll do, I'll show his ultimate ability here with that revive spell once we get a chance. So what we'll do is we'll put attack down, defense down on everybody. And then our Nero is going to go and get Lightnick and Darknick down to their death immunities here, right? And then what's going to happen is I'm going to revive our Thor. We'll put up, these big health, HP max. Okay, so here, Thor is going to use his ultimate ability and ignore all positive effects. So right now, because Darknick already used his ultimate, we are going to target Lightnick because he's somewhat of a bigger threat. And what you'll see is, even though we're targeting Lightnick, whenever Thor uses his Lunar Instinct ability, it's a separate attack, which is an AoE against Darknick. So you'll see this stack drop down to 3, and you'll see some damage done to Nero. So right here, Thor's going to go, and as you see there, he's ignoring the death immunity, and he did that 1 stack removal from Darknick. So here, we'll speed this up and just finish out this fight. We can actually even leave it. The whole purpose of this was to just show you the benefit of having Thor in your team there to get around those death immunities. I would like to show you just real quick what his Delusive health means as well. And this team, I think, is pretty good at that as well if he doesn't die. Again, a lot of these people that he's going up against are booked characters, so they do a lot of damage, and he's not booked, so it's much harder for him to compete. All right, so here, this is a great time to show this. Okay. Yeah, he should still be surviving. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now Hackran goes. So if you see this, this is his little Delusive health icon. And beside the shield here from Jonathan, you can see that this health bar is a little darker green. All that means is right here, Thor's actual health is 6,400. But some of his HP is in that Delusive health bar that it talks about on his passive, on his trait. So whenever he does damage to Ralph here, you will see his health go up a little bit. I'm going to try and show that here, but just remember it's at 6,400. So we'll increase our health, and then Thor is going to go and attack, and you'll see a little bit of green there. See, 1,800. So now he's back up to 9,300. So he heals himself on his trait. And if this was at 100%, he would have gained more, from his Ascended 5, where his trait gets upgraded. So that's how his Delusive health works. He gains, some of that back. You see how big his bar is? If he were to get an attack off, he would heal even more, but I think he's going to die. But we'll see. Okay, so again, his health, he's converting all of this, but all he has left is 4,600. So if the opponent were to do 4,600 more damage, he would die before he had the ability to gain this back. So he's going to go again. See, and he healed back 900. So right now, we're just going to try and get him a turn here without him dying. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to make it. Let's see if we can, stun her. No, we can't. Okay. Anyway, I don't know if he's going to get a chance to go or not. Is he going to survive? Oh, okay, nice. So he survived. So you'll see right here, he's at 1,000 health, but he's going to be able to do some big damage, I think, unless his ultimate was cooled down by Holy Armor Virgil. I can't remember. Let's see here. Okay, it was. So he still won't do a whole lot of damage. He has attack down and all that stuff. So, but because he actually gets to go, here's his basic. Let's see how much he heals again. Okay, so 1,200. And you see his bar went up a little bit. So he went back up to 2,400. If he ever gets a chance to do his ultimate ability, he is going to be able to deal a lot of damage. And the nice thing is like Ralph here also has this ability where he goes into the shield. Yeah, he keeps being the target because the AI sees him as the biggest threat. But I'll revive him whenever the time comes with one of my heroes here. I won't be able to do it with Hackman because he's silenced. But he has this shield that's eating up, some of the damage that my team takes. So another benefit of having Thor in the team is being able to get rid of that ability from Ralph too. So it's another character. So you'll see here. So he'll ignore this shield. But that was actually a really good showcase where if he would have killed him through that shield with his first attack, Ralph would have died, but he didn't do enough damage. So it ended up not working out for us. But that's just Delusive health. That's how his ultimate works, ignores those abilities. This is just a short showcase, showing you what this stuff actually means. Thor's an okay character. I wouldn't say he's meta right now. There just aren't enough, fire units in the meta for him to be relevant. He is really good against the light Nyx and dark Nyx, but I think there's other ways to get around them other than, sinking some books into Thor. And as you've seen here, he's just dying so easily because he doesn't have the stat boost that he needs to compete. And I don't want to take the time to put legendary books into him. So that's what we got. That's Thor, and, whether or not you guys want to get him from the Magic Pass is up to you. So that's all I got for you today. Thanks.